some of them aren't completely printed.
We are live.
I can read them, I can make it out, but it's like printed in yellow instead.
Just logging on now.
Okay, good. Brian, I had to reboot my computer.
Oh, okay.
I believe it.
Excellent connection.
It says live and I see people.
Okay, excellent. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 o'clock p.m. On Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. This is the Infrastructure Committee meeting. I'm the chair, Brian Spitznagel, Council President Pro Tem Raymond Whedon, and Council Person Jennifer Allen is all in attendance. We have Rob Kalman, our street commissioner, and Mr. Joe Gelati, village engineer here. They're going to discuss plans for this year, summer recap, plans ongoing for 2025 and for 2026. We have a council person, council lady Diane Canzoni, and two people from our finance department, and somebody else just walked in.
That would be Nicole Sell
Mr.
and Melissa Sangrick.
Nicole Sell and Melissa Sangrick, I know. And Mr. Nielsen just walked in, Councilman Fred Nielsen just walked in. Welcome, everybody. First item on the agenda is the discussion, summer recap, infrastructure needs, and then, well, actually, summer recap. So, Mr. Kalman, Mr. Gelati, whoever wants to start first, please feel free.
Shall we flip a coin? Well, I say we've been business as usual, you've been doing projects, so.
Oh, all right. Rob says I should go first, so I guess I'll go first, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. I passed out a copy of the current updated version of the 5-year infrastructure plan document that we always keep. As we know, it's a working, living, ongoing document for us to always use and keep in mind, and helps guide us through all of our infrastructure projects. So I'll go through 2025, where we stand with all the projects you see on the first page there. The first part of the document is our asphalt pavement maintenance work. At the top, the spray sealer for Barclay Estates, that's complete. You see for slightly under the budgeted amount. Same thing with the asphalt various location strip patching that we do is also now complete, slightly less than the $50,000 we had originally budgeted. Then the next one is the county maintenance, county route maintenance. That's crack seal and some patching and pavement markings. That is almost complete. There's a small amount of pavement markings left to do, but you see the numbers there in red is the current numbers. Of course, we did not perform quite as much of that work, or maybe I should say we performed the work. We got it at a low bid price, so the total cost is less, and does so is the reimbursement cost on those county route items. As you guys know, we get reimbursed for the cost of materials. Village is responsible for the labor there. Next paragraph down is asphalt resurfacing. This summer we paved Fern, Logan, and Dunham Lane. That is complete again, except for pavement markings. We're just waiting for the white lines to be painted. We had previously broke those two roads apart, but for the purpose of this exercise, I combined them together because it was all part of one contract. The roads were worked together. So you see the dollar amount there. Wound up being 150 grand. We had originally budgeted 175 approximately, or whatever that winds up being. We get the reimbursement for the sewer district for the stormwater culvert work, and in the far right column you see the total there that is the net village expenditure. Came in a little bit less again than what we had originally budgeted, so that's a good thing. Next paragraph down is concrete pavement repairs in our industrial park. That work was completed Earlier this summer, the grant was for 50 grand. We wound up spending just about 49 grand. So that's a good thing. We maxed out the dollars there on that project. Moving down is Northfield Road sidewalk. As you probably are aware, we're currently in the right-of-way acquisition process with the property owners on Northfield Road. Bless you, Rob. Turns out we don't need to acquire quite as much land as we had originally thought. Previously, we had 300,000 all total in there. It's only going to be about 150 grand. As you know, the state, ODOT, contributes 90%. Village is responsible for 10% of those costs. We will pay our local share through the county ARPA money that we had received previously that was earmarked for exactly this project. So winds up being a net village expenditure of 0. And then further on down, we have what we call our water resources improvements, stormwater sanitary projects. We'll go in order here, and the good news, these are all fully reimbursed by various outside funding sources. First one is our video inspection of the storm sewers on Alexander Road, beginning basically right here on the corner in front of the hall and taking us all the way down to Dunham. That video inspection is currently ongoing. They're about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway down the road with that work. We'd originally budgeted 75 grand. We got a really low price on that one, which is a good thing. It's fully reimbursed through our stormwater money, so net village expenditure of 0. Next one is our storm sewer point repair project, which we discussed a couple of weeks ago here in this room. That's on Alexander, right at the corner of McClellan, where we have a non-functioning storm sewer. You folks were nice enough to award that contract 2 weeks ago, so we're moving forward there, having the contract signed, and soon we'll have that contractor out there to replace the non-functioning storm sewer. Again, fully reimbursed through our stormwater money at NERSD. Next one down is our sanitary sewer video testing, inspection, and study. Again, that one was discussed 2 weeks ago here in this room. Continues to be ongoing, and again, fully 75% reimbursed from the sewer district and 25% reimbursed from the county. So again, you see the net village expenditure of 0 in the far right column. Next item down is our culvert replacement on South Meadow Park. We have obtained the necessary easements for that project, so it is currently out to bid, and that is also 100% reimbursed through our NERSD stormwater money. Last item on 2025 was the emergency Dunham Road slope repair from earlier this year, which I'm sure you guys recall. That work has been completed. The slope is stabilized. OPWC emergency funds paid for 75% of the cost of that project. So you see in the end, the expenditure by the village was only $7,500. That's where we stand at the moment for infrastructure here this year. And I guess, Chairman, I'll stop there. I don't think I want to go to 2026 yet.
Okay, Mr. Gelati, for that last item, the Dunham Road slope repair.
Yeah.
Our cost on that $7,500.
Yeah.
What made that that slow? What made that failure underneath that road that caused us to have to repair it?
Yeah. So I think it's a combination of time, gravity, a little bit of groundwater. So when they made this repair, they installed some under drain or drainage pipes in there to make sure any groundwater that might have been causing the problem gets wicked away and, send it down the hill, so we don't have the problem.
So there was no issues with the original planning, original construction?
Yeah, and not that there's a smoking gun or anything,
No, I'm not saying,
yeah. I don't know that there was anything wrong with the original design. I think it's just a little bit of time. We
Okay.
talked, oh, go
The
ahead.
original design, this isn't from when we did Dunham Road a few years ago.
No,
Oh,
I'm
yes,
talking-
yeah,
This is going back.
going back to 1999.
Okay,
Yes, thank you, Rob, yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but maybe you weren't, so, yeah, to clarify, the, this slope and wall was built in, I believe it was 1999 when Dunham Road Hill got reconstructed by the county.
I see.
Yes. Yeah. So when I say time, I meant 26 years, not 4 years.
Okay, very
Sorry
good.
about
Thank
that.
you, thanks for that
Yeah,
clarification.
Thank you, Rob.
Mhm. Does anybody on the committee have any questions for Mr. Gelati so far?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Joe, under the, the South Meadow Park culvert replacement, you've got that updated at
Yeah.
doubled?
Oh, yes, so the figure you see in black there, the 80,000, let's keep in mind that was the original dollar amount from 2017, really, I guess, is when this
Okay,
project first kicked off, and we had left the dollar amount in there.
okay,
We really didn't touch anything for all these years because of the easement issue. Now we finally got it, so now it's time to update everything.
okay,
So, but good question. I was going to mention that, I forgot to say
all
that.
right. No, it makes sense. You can't go to the car dealership today and ask for one price and come back a month later. and
Yeah, they don't
expect the
hold it
same
for a month,
price.
let alone 8 years, yeah.
Right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Just a comment, I just wanted to just say to Mr. Gelati and Mr. Calvin, thank you for this report for 2025. Looks like before fall comes, the overwhelming majority of these projects are done, out of the way, no cones, all of that stuff. That's a wonderful thing. So looking forward to the South Meadow Park culvert replacement project. And also it helps with the reimbursements getting in on time so that our finance team can bank that and, you know, we can know what's there for 2026.
Yeah, I agree, so thank you. And Nikki and I, you know, we stay in close contact, we meet monthly to go over all of this, including the reimbursements. And we know our goal is always to get the reimbursements back to the village as soon as we possibly can. So,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Overall, for 2025, we were planning a just under $300,000 road program. And with all these projects coming in, slightly less, slightly less, slightly less, one slightly more, we still saved about $70,000 overall on the road project this year, so. Thank you, Joe and Rob,
Thank you.
especially for all of those grants you guys go after.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else for 2025 for Mr. Gelati? No? Do we have anything else for 2025?
I'm good on 25.
Okay, how about we stick with 2025 and go to Mr. Kalman? Is that okay? Is that okay?
So you may remember, I mean, one of the items that we got completed this year, I was looking for capital funds last year this time to take care of the water meter vault at the service department. We were able to do that without asking for extra funds. We pulled that out of our operations budget. So that's one of the things that got done this summer. We replaced the HVAC, one of the HVAC and furnace units at the event center that went bad. That got done this summer as well. The guys were out, of course, everybody saw the Cleveland Water Department operation earlier this summer on Alexander Road. They needed to cut in 3 additional valves, and that came right about a month and a half after we had a major water break on Walton. So, I mean, we self-performed all those patches on the asphalt in those 4 areas. We did some pavement modification to promote drainage on Hicks Road, self-performed that this summer. And everything else is just maintenance, right-of-way maintenance, keeping up with our signage, and keeping everything working. So that's about it for service for the summer.
What was that, Rob, what was the first thing you mentioned, that you were able to do it with the, your?
The water, our water vault at the service department.
Oh, yeah.
They needed to update the metering system.
Yeah.
There was a lot of corroded pipes in there that was on us. I was forecasting that at 12, and I was 12,000, and I was struggling to pay that, even though I know it was a difficult job. I think we ended up getting it done for 7,500. So that's why I didn't need to come back, and I rolled that into operations. And most recently, the most recent thing that we're going to attempt to pay out of operations, as you know, you were, I believe, yes, council was made aware of the control, the updated controls for the HVAC system across at the community room, which that shakes out to $22,000 that I'm not asking for extra money for. We've combined a few things and we should be able to pull that off. As long as we don't get any more curveballs.
Watch out.
But that's about it for the summer for service.
Okay. I'm just writing notes here. Does anybody have any questions about 2025?
Yes.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, it's Mr. Calman, related to the Cleveland Water, Alexander repairs, those patch repairs. And I think I heard you say the village self-performed. Is that self-performed as a contractor for CWD? Or if it was their, they had to cut and put valves in our road?
Yes, we get reimbursed for our
That's-
labor and our material on
Okay.
it, but typically we would hire that out
Okay.
to a contractor.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
That's-
we self-perform.
Okay. And then where does that, how does that show up on the reimbursement side of things, do you know?
It didn't show up yet because I didn't submit it yet.
Okay, all right.
But it will.
It
But it
will.
will. It will.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody in the back in the audience have any questions? Anybody in the back in the audience have any questions? No? Okay, how about we move on to the 2026? Mr. Gelati.
Yes, so if you flip the page forward, 2026, we'll review our plan or our ask for 2026. So starting at the top again is our asphalt maintenance program. For next year, I'm recommending that we perform crack seal work on the Horseshoe, that's Hickory, Tulip, and Chestnut, as well as on Barkley Estates. Those are some of our newer roads, and we want to keep those roads in as good a condition as we can for as long as we possibly can. Took a lot to get to the point where we could pave those roads. They were all in desperate need of being paved. We don't want to return to that situation anytime soon. So crack seal is our main preventative maintenance item to extend the life of our pavements. Next on there is our miscellaneous location, asphalt patching, the same $50,000 that we usually or historically spend on those repairs at miscellaneous locations around the village to try to take some of the cold patching burden off of Rob and his crew and try to give a little nicer experience to our residents as they drive around the village. Next one is our county route maintenance. You'll see the yellow highlighter there. Yellow highlight indicates that the grant request is pending. So if we receive the grant, then we'll proceed with the project. And you guys are familiar with the county route maintenance program. It's crack seal and patching and striping on our main roads, as we like to think of it. Next paragraph is complete resurfacing, and this is the big one for 2026, and we've chatted about this before. This is to pave Ryan and Kaylee Circle up just north of Rob's Service Garage. You see the total estimated cost there is $688. The OPWC money that we have received is $250 grand, and the stipulation with OPWC is that you do need to begin the project before June 30th of 2026. So I recognize that's our biggest ask. by far for 2026, and maybe our biggest ask in a long time. But I think you guys are familiar with Ryan and Kaylee, and well, we all know it needs to happen. We know what the condition of the pavement is. So, moving along, next one is concrete repairs in our industrial zone. Same as always, grant request is pending. If we receive the money, then we'll move forward with those concrete repairs, hence the yellow highlighter on $150,000. Sidewalk on Northfield Road, still scheduled for 2026 construction. Recall that ODOT will actually bid that project out, and they would manage the construction, not us as a village, so that's a little bit of a wrinkle from what we typically do. And as you know, ODOT will be paying for 90% of the construction. Village will be paying for 10%. We're predicting we'll still have a little bit of our county ARPA money left, so we'll use that to begin to cover our share. And then what else we need to cover our share next year, we'll pay out of our TIF collections. Last paragraph on here is our water resources work. First one is storm sewer point repairs. We're budgeting $100,000 in there. We would access our NERSD stormwater money for that. And this would build upon the video inspection of the storm sewers on Alexander Road that we did last summer and that we're currently doing right now as we speak. As we identify the areas of most urgent need, those are the ones that we will repair in 2026. Next item here, sanitary sewer. This is, again, this would be phase 3 of our video and testing and flow monitoring study of our sanitary sewer system. We have been awarded the $150,000 again through the sewer district, so that covers 75% of the cost of that project. By rule, they will only fund 75% of this, so we will use county sanitary money to cover our local 25% of that project, which is $50,000. And then the last one you see here is sanitary sewer repair. I've kept this on the document here for 2026, but it is highlighted in yellow. It would be only if this year's study were to reveal a problem with our sanitary sewer system and we needed to make a repair. We could then, again, apply to the sewer district's NCIP program for the money to make those repairs, if our study reveals a need. If the study reveals no need for any real repairs, then that item simply would be deleted from the document. And Chairman, if I could just for a moment flip ahead to one page to 2027. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I would just like to let everybody know, previously, a couple of weeks ago, we passed the legislation to apply to OPWC for Andrus, Connolly, and Rawlin. So that application for funding has been sent in. If it is successful, we would plan it as a 2027 project. You see it there in the middle of the page for 2027 with the yellow highlighter for the $250,000. And you know, that was born out of our village-wide pavement condition ratings report, identifying those 3 streets as 3 streets most in need of being paved. Thank you, Chairman.
We do have one question from Claudia Thomas. Please address the storm sewer situation on Jefferson Drive causing flooding with very heavy rain.
Yes.
Do you want me to address that? I guess I would need to know the exact area. What we did do is we, one, we're aware of a couple areas on Jefferson. The one closest to Walton, we had the camera inspection done on that, and as soon as we get the report on that, we'll know better. But we that was within a few weeks ago. We
Correct.
just had the camera inspection done. As soon as we have a report on that, we'll know better. That's the one area, 2 houses up from Walton. The other area is closer to McClellan, and that is actually a private yard drain that backs up with twigs and stuff. Whenever we get a heavy rain, that's one of the hot spots. It's a private yard drain, we go there, we clear it, and then the water goes down. Those are the 2 areas I'm aware of on that.
Yeah. Assuming the question is regarding the location closer to Walton, we have recently done, we're aware, we've recently done the video camera inspection to see what the problem might be.
Okay. Does anybody have questions for Mr. Gelati?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please.
Joe, I was just wondering, because we've got the Reclamite and, you know, that we were doing Barclay Estates, are we going to continue doing that with the other streets? Because it's not on any of the other pages.
Yeah, I didn't put it here on 2026 yet, but I think that in the future we should continue with that. So this year we paved, of course, only Dunham Lane and Logan and Fern. They're all really small roads. So I simply didn't place it here on 2026, but we could place it on for 2027.
Okay.
And then really what you want to do in those first couple of years after you pave a road.
That was going to be my next question.
when
Is there
you
a
want-
time frame to wait to do it?
Anytime in the first 3 years is good. You
Okay.
don't want to let the pavement get beyond 3 years, and I won't get into the technical reasons,
Sure.
but you want to treat it early on.
Okay.
So, we did Alexander last year, Barclay Estates, just a week or 2 ago, I guess it was last week. So I don't have it on for 2026, but we definitely want to
Okay. Well,
continue that, and it's not an expensive item.
no, it was only 16,000 for all of Barclay
Correct.
Estates. I would think it would be half
It's
that.
half that for
you know.
Logan and Fern and Dunham
Yeah.
Lane, yeah. And
But
it
yeah,
pays
if
off
we
in the
could
long run.
keep it on there, I mean, if at some point council feels we need to yank that off, because we desperately need that $8,000, but if we can keep planning on adding that.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Weed?
Yeah, that was my question as well, was going to be about the Reclamite, and I agree with Ms. Allen. It's probably better for council to at least see it, you know, project it, whether it's 26 or 27, see it on paper, and that helps us all out. Thank you.
I agree.
I did have one more question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
And it goes back to the new sidewalk, Northfield Road new sidewalk.
Yes.
The item that says inspection,
Yes.
can you talk about that?
Yeah, so, ODOT will bid and, bid the contract and administer the construction. So the local is responsible for the cost of that inspection. Payment for that inspection has to be made to ODOT at the same time we pay our 10%. You'll see the number, I'll speak to this just a little bit. You see the number on there is 152,000. That's the number from ODOT's information, so I didn't want to change that. I placed it on this document. Between us in this room, it seems a little high. I'm not sure it's going to be quite that much, but, you know, I didn't want to lower it
Sure.
myself. So that's why you see the number there.
And ODOT does the bidding for that
Correct.
piece of work, and we just administer the payments.
Yeah, we participate really just financially.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Gelati? Anybody from the back? Nicole, do you have this? Did you get a copy of that, or Melissa? No? Would you like a copy? Because we can make a copy.
Till after the meeting started. It slipped in.
All right, so we'll move on to Mr. Kalman for 2026, if that's okay with everybody.
All right, with that being said, I want to start off by saying, so the format's changed for my portion of this from years past. So, which is fine. I was writing down 2026 while you were talking to Joe. Typically, the document I gave you, which talks about equipment replacement, that's what I would submit, and that's about all we talk about. So if we want to just talk about that for 26, is that cool?
Whatever you wish to talk about. is
Okay,
fine.
so as you recall last year, when we got to me last year, I tabled everything that was on
Right.
my document. This is of the utmost importance of what I'm presenting you this evening, and it's it's getting rid of 3 vehicles that we have and purchasing 2 pieces of equipment. The first piece of equipment is a chassis-mounted leafer instead of a tow-behind leafer. This is a leafer that is mounted to the chassis of a truck.
Rob, I'm sorry to
Stand
interrupt
by.
you. Do you have an extra one of these? Brian
I
cannot
didn't get
find
one of
his.
those.
I
It's
put
over
it
here.
where Brian,
Oh, you put it right
there's a nameplate there that says Brian Smith.
Right, you weren't giving one to Nicole Sal.
So I slid one over there.
Thank you.
You went by the nameplate, not the face.
Thank you.
So the ask is for the chassis-mounted leafer, and this piece of equipment replaces one of our leafers, one of our dump trucks. So a 2006 leafer, a 2004 dump truck, and it can also double as the vehicle that pulls the chipper, which is kind of nice. There's an expense associated with it. I mean, it's $300,000. We got muni finance option is $67,780 for 5 years. I'm trying to make it as palatable as possible when it comes to council. I reached out to NEORSD. They're willing to give us $20,000 a year for 5 years. So that offsets our total outlay to $47,780 a year to lease this piece of equipment.
Could you explain the NERSD piece, how that ties in?
We're keeping 2,400 cubic yards of leaves out of the streams annually. So I'm just trying to get as creative as I can, because I've sat here and asked for equipment in the past and it's been very difficult. So I find there's something else I'm looking into as far as funding. It might knock that down a little bit more, but I'm just not there yet with it.
Rob, at the end of that 4-year, or I'm sorry, 5-year lease, is that
It's our equipment.
ours? Okay.
So with that, our brush chipper is, the item right underneath there is $60,000, and there's the lease option for that underneath that, $13,700 for 5 years, $13,700 a year for 5 years. For facility upgrades, we did talk about the fire alarm at the event center last year. What I was able to do was I spoke to fire, and as long as I got the existing one working, that was installed in '85, I believe, they were fine with it for the short time. So we went through this year, I was able to get it working, and we went through this year with that. That is a hard number that I got. I got a bid number for the 28,653. That's what it would cost to put the fire alarm over at the event center.
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Allen?
Rob, is that an entire new system going in then, sprinklers and everything?
Yes. Well, because to update it, what we don't have there is we don't have any smoke detectors. So that's all new smoke detectors, the audio or the audio signaling, the visual signaling. It needs to be interconnected with the hood system in the kitchen. So, and that's also, it's monitored. It will take, it'll throw a call. It has to be monitored. It'll call dispatch if it goes off. So, which the current system is local to the building only. It's just audio, visual, that's it. And then, of course, we're gonna do the roof replacements that we did receive ARPA funding for a couple of years ago. I was able to go in front of county council this spring, since the roof on the village hall came in where it did. I presented to them, I asked if we could use the balance of the money for our roof down at our event center and the 6-bay garage, and they approved it and said we could. So, with that, we'll get the roofs done down there, stuff we're going to self-perform, like we did the ceilings in here and lighting in here. We're gonna do the ceilings and lighting in the rest of the administrative side of the village hall here, along with the community room across the way. And that's just winter work for the guys. We're gonna go ahead and self-perform that stuff.
Does that include the police department too? And in the
Well, the police
basement?
department's updated, at least it was in 2011, 12. Depending on what direction the police department goes, if they need ceilings, we'll do it.
Okay.
But I know there's some things that the chief is looking at doing down there. If that comes to fruition, we'll work with them or somehow offset
Okay.
that.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, please.
Rob, thank you very much for your ingenuity and striving with keeping the village's budget what it is and still trying to get this stuff done. Really, thank you very much.
I'm just copying off of Joe.
Well, Joe's bringing jobs in at under cost.
Right,
I don't know
right.
if he's purposely increasing them in the beginning, but that doesn't matter, as long as it's underneath.
Makes us
Finding
feel
the
better.
money
It's
and he's doing the
fabulous.
road, so
Yes,
I'm
yes.
trying to follow suit.
Yes,
It's good
thank
work.
you,
We
guys.
learn from each other,
Must have been that Bedford High School, huh?
not
So-
a Chanel thing.
Mr. Kalman, getting back to the leafer, you said it would replace a dump truck? Is that-
Currently, we have a dump truck that, you need a vehicle to pull the leafer
Yes.
and the chipper. So
Yeah.
currently, the dump truck that pulls the chipper would be replaced. Because the leafer's chassis mounted onto a truck.
Oh, so you can't use, that's where I got confused by the term replaced. You can use the dump truck for other projects. You don't need to use it to pull a pull-behind leafer, right? This leafer cannot, chassis-mounted leafer, you cannot use it as a dump truck.
When you're dumping chips from chipping, because you can pull the chipper behind it, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
But-
if somebody wanted to throw concrete in it,
Yeah,
no, that would be no.
So
That's
the-
where I was confused a little
so
bit.
the
It's not
W14,
replacing.
which it would be replacing, which is a 2004 F550,
Uh-huh,
has never done anything but pull the chipper.
okay.
That truck is hooked to that chipper, and that's all it pulls. That's how we make those pieces of equipment last as long as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't, the new large trucks, we'll haul stone with it, we won't haul asphalt with it. We keep the system in place to prolong the life of this. And actually, that F550 truck that would be replacing, that would become our cold patch truck. Our cold patch truck is W10, which was 2000, F350, which
Mhm.
it's got a rotted out box on it and everything else, but we need a vehicle to have cold patch in. It's nice to keep it stored inside, because then you're not losing a load of cold patch every time you need a cold patch. And so that would move on to be the new cold patch truck.
So do you have projected replacement costs for that F550 or the chipper?
So
Am I missing that?
the
Oh,
chipper, the chipper's the 59,000.
chipper's 59, yeah, okay. The F550,
Probably 165.
how much,
I'd
165?
say about 165.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Kalman on that?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I have, Mr. Kalman, I had a question regarding the Moorbark, the one that you currently have, due to be replaced. Would that be replaced and decommissioned, or replaced and also put as a spare, a backup spare unit?
I don't know, you know, would it be a bad idea to keep it as a backup? I know last August 6th, when we had that tornado come through here, I mean, we were pushed up against the wall for 6 weeks afterwards. If I could have 2 crews out there doing it, it would make sense. That, our current chipper, current chipper, I mean, that thing's paid for itself 10 times over, we own it.
Yeah.
You know, so, but if there's a value enough to offset the expenditure enough to auction it, then yeah, we should.
Well, because I looked at the condition assessment as fair, as I think you reported it as fair,
Right,
although it's, you know, it's old, or 2004,
right,
but it's listed as fair. Well,
Yes.
whatever the age is, listed as fair condition.
yes.
So it just looked like it may just still have some backup useful life, or,
Well, there's
you know.
definitely backup useful life, and the thing is we've, and the only reason I'm hemming and hawing is, on whether we would get rid of it or not, is because, like the F-550, going to our current 2002 chipper, we had to put a cooling system into it a couple years ago. It was $5,000. We had a major engine thing that we did to it. Had to go out to Cummins. That the seals were bad in it early this spring. I think we're over $8,000 there. So I know we put a $4,500 axle on that unit. So to keep this unit on the road, we've been throwing all this money at it.
Okay.
That F-550, we paid $25,000 for the engine to be resealed, only for us to have to put $12,000 in 2 years later. The problem is, and when I spoke at the time of our expenditure on that, you know, the thought was, well, 25 is cheaper than 165. But every other component on the vehicle is 2004. The springs, the transmission, so I would sorry to prolong my answer, but I would probably move that 550 to replace the cold patch truck, and for the monies that were put into our current Mobar, I'd keep it as backup. I think that would be the most sensible thing to do with the monies that we've invested in recent times.
Okay, thank you.
Would that, Rob, would that be the same type of scenario with the leafer, or with our current leafer? Would you
Currently for those.
currently forgo?
As a useful life versus our investment, we auction it on enough deals that it goes.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yeah,
Come up to, so people online can hear you.
Yeah, we're talking $300,000, 5-year lease. Any idea, I mean, the initial layout of, you know, the initial startup? You're going, I'm talking like for 26. You're looking at 26?
Yeah, well, build time on it, they said they're ramping up production, but the current build time, if we were to pull the trigger today, is 12 months.
Okay, so, all right, 26, and what would, you have any idea what our initial investment in 26 would be? I mean, you're talking a 5-year lease, right?
5-year lease, our initial investment, if we were to pull the trigger and order it, our initial investment, let's say October 1, we would owe 47,780, 84,
So you,
as it sits right
and
now.
that's without any help from anybody?
Well, that's $20,000 from any ORSD.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we're looking, that's all, I'm just looking for, you know,
Yeah.
26.
They have a
budget.
program where you can postpone it a year,
Yeah.
the lease payment, but
Right.
it costs a little bit more,
Okay,
so.
all right, just, that answered my question. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Kalman? Nothing? Seeing none, well, we'll get with, obviously, we can't tell you yes or no tonight. We'll have to get with council, we'll have to get with Melissa and Nicole and see where the money lies so far. We're talking for the road projects for next year, almost $600,000. So, and right now we're showing about, correct me if I'm wrong, about the first draft of next year's budget, about a $300,000 deficit. But Nicole said that they're sharpening their pencils with everybody and that they made, and depending on how much money is coming in for the rest of the year, and projected for next year, may be able to get that closer to a balanced budget with no capital spending. I want to put that in there. Council just has to look at these. I will forward this information to the rest of the council and the mayor.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Rob, if you can, get this information, especially about the leafer and the truck, to Nicole and find out, would we be able to, if she could find out from Matt Stasinski, because my understanding is if it has a useful life of at least 5 years, we could issue that as debt. And I'm just wondering if the interest rate where we're issuing it as debt is less than the lease plan that they have for you.
Mhm. I don't know if, oh, and it's a question to ask any ORSD. They're the ones that are putting it up to 20,000 a year. If they would still do that if we went another route. I don't know the answer to that. But good work getting with any ORSD and getting that money.
I think we could figure something out, but yes, I would give it NERSD.
Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Kalman? Sir, go ahead, Mr. Whedon.
Mr. Chairman, I just have, I'm going to throw this out, 'cause I'm not quite sure if it's, how it's going to land. But, thank you, Mr. Kalman, for this report and your request. And in this report, we see, you know, the hard equipment, as well as you see the condition assessment for all of the vehicles in the village, which is a wonderful thing, including the police cars and everything, very comprehensive. But also we see, you know, the work at the event center, the roof here, that kind of thing. And then there's the other section, those areas called parks, or the park. We know that from time to time, and we, of course, in the last recreational committee meeting, there were discussions about some potential repairs and whatnot. And it's just, Mr. Chairman, this is just a question that comes to my mind is when it comes to things like the park, which oftentimes the street commissioner service department helps with that work. It's just a question of whether or not that should be, quote unquote, under the infrastructure area of, you know, work for this village. It's just in terms of seeing it all at one time. It's just I'm just going to throw it out there.
So, agree. And the way things, I still have 10 minutes according to my watch.
Mm-hmm.
The way things used to work, when we're going through these times, where every year I would come, I've been doing this since 18, we don't have money. That's just what I'm told. We don't have money. So what I've done is instead of putting anything as a capital expenditure for improvement, is I've been finding ways throughout the years to save money in my operational and then still perform the task. So when it comes to equipment needs, as you all know, put a $23,000 bed on our dump truck that was rotted out. I did that I bought F-150 out of SCMR. Is $38,000. None of that's been capital. You see, so that's what I've been doing. As we sit here now and we have a fiscal officer that's telling me, that all needs to be capital, okay? What I don't want to do, and this was kind of last minute when I was putting this stuff together, it's on a list, all these things like that you're asking about, it's on a list. I don't know just yet if it's something that can come out of operations, because we have a lot of small things. So to go through the small things with 9 minutes left, the median lighting on Alexander hasn't worked for a couple months. I priced that out. That's over $7,000 just in material. That's if we self-perform it. That's on my radar.
Which
I don't
lighting?
know-
I'm sorry, which lighting? The median
The
lighting?
median lighting, the uplighting for the trees down the median in front of Cardinal
Okay.
Hill. The courtyard we walk in on, there's concrete, there's 22 concrete pads that need to be replaced out there. Okay, there's $6,500. The hydrants, and this goes between operations and capital expenditure, the hydrants, I need 100 gallons of paint for it, okay? I also need $25,000 of summer help to do it. So that's gonna go into my operations. And so all this stuff is on my radar. I just don't know, I wasn't prepared to overwhelm this board with all these things because I've never presented it to you in the past.
Yeah.
And I was gonna get with Nicole as far as where I think I am with my budget and what we can do and what actually needs to be presented as a capital expenditure. The upgrade of the alarm at the event center, that's the biggest ticket item. That one's clearly, that's something we need. That's, I know, is a capital expenditure. This other stuff, the small $6,000, $7,000 stuff, it'll be on the list at our next meeting. I'll have everything on the list. I've never presented to this board in that fashion. In the past, I've only presented my equipment needs. But yes, for facilities will be on the list in the future.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you to Nikki, because Nikki's the one that told me that's the most appropriate way to do it.
Mhm.
It's just this year is the transition year for the presentation. That's all.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions for Mr. Kalman or Mr. Gelati? I have just a couple for Mr. Kalman. It was mentioned last week, just upkeep of the pickleball courts that we recently redid. Are you planning on doing any type of crack sealing in that
Yeah, we will.
this year?
We will. They have the, yes.
I haven't been up there to look at it, so I don't know what.
I sent the guys up there to take a look at it. They got the catalog out, the color that we coated everything. They sell the crack seal in each individual color, so it looks appropriate. The list of what they need is on my desk.
Okay.
I know that they are highly used. We're going to have to, maybe I'll put something up, shut down for these 2 days or something.
Mhm. And what day do you expect leaf pickup for the residents to end? That's usually at the end of October? And I know you can't say a specific date.
To end or to start?
To end. When's it gonna
Chipping-
start?
Chipping would stop.
I know, but
Yeah, so
I'm
chip-
talking about the fall leaf pickup. I know you usually try to,
Unfortunately,
You can't
much like
tell.
chipping, I've said for years, because it says in our in our little phone book we hand out. It says, chipping stops October 1st.
Mhm.
And every year, I'm out there 2 weeks after October 1st picking up branches while I'm running a leafer. Leafing, we run till the snow goes, and sometimes we run until after the snow. We had an early start to the winter last year. It's nice when the residents get them out to the curb as soon as possible, because it's miserable kicking ice off of leaves to suck them up.
Right.
So we don't really ever, we go as long as we can go.
Okay. And one more thing with this leafer. Have you looked into, why are you going with I'm trying to get your thoughts on why are you going with a chassis mounted leafer as opposed to another pull behind? And
There's one councilman that lets me know yearly, why don't we have a leafer like Brexville does?
because we're not Brexville.
But you have a lower,
You see their taxes?
you have a lower impact on the employee of the overall job. You have a collector hose where we have two guys on rakes out there
Uh-huh.
raking into the collector hose. You have a collector hose that's controlled by a joystick inside the cab
Right.
that it booms out. We had the company come up and show us this, you don't have two guys in a ditch plus a guy in a truck plus a chase truck. You got a guy in the truck and maybe a guy in the rake.
Okay.
So it cuts down their overall impact on the guys that are doing the work. And if we're replaced, the equipment needs replaced anyways, so it's like, this is if you recall, we replaced the equipment, still got 3 minutes. We replaced the equipment in 2019 with the exact same equipment. And if you remember, we had a screen on top that didn't work, that was blowing all kinds of stuff
Right.
out the top. We fabricated our own screen for it, and then we were on Egbert Road, and 2 years into it, 21, the entire thing caught on fire.
Right, I remember that.
So can we get one of those for about now, in today's money, for about 89,000? Yes. Let's do a chassis mounted, let's upgrade the operation, is my standpoint on that.
Okay, fair enough, thank you. Does anybody else, either up here or in the audience, have any questions for Mr. Gelati or Mr. Kalman? No, with that, no, with that, I'd like to ask for a motion for adjournment of the meeting then.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the Infrastructure Committee meeting.
Second.
Ms. Allen, motion for adjournment, seconded by Councilman Raymond Whedon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 3 ayes approved. Meeting adjourned at 6:59. Thank you, gentlemen, I appreciate it.